Let me start by specially recognizing our royal fathers who have come to grace this occasion. The chairman, Abdullah, represented here by our own honorable Aro, are most welcome. Obviously, we become aware of Agoye. I recognize you with respect. Obviously, of the governor, the Alakore of Peru, I bow and I tremble. Our brand new Kabesi, who has been a wonderful permanent secretary, Chief Oyeti, I recognize you and all the other royals that are here. Our own chief, Bode Mustafa, the OC of the Baland, you have my respect. Earlier on, I encountered somebody who was described as a multi-talented philanthropist. But what I couldn't pick together is for such a beautiful lady to be an engineer. My recognition, and I can see that your lovely husband is here with you to protect you from the hawks in the motherland. You are most welcome. I congratulate you, I appreciate you, and I continue to encourage you. All the eminent personalities in the house, I welcome you especially to Baland. As I now settle on the publisher of all times, our own Sheye Benga Kendi. I didn't know that we were namesakes actually. Now I can begin to understand where he's coming from and how he has managed. Somebody said we have Bengas here, there is Benga Dinka, there is of course Benga Shekendi, there is OGD. And then he was now saying that he's not Benga but his body. If not because of the way I am with you, sir, but I would have had, because you see seated, I am, my hands are tired, my lips are also tired. But I appreciate all of you for coming to ensure we have a good outing today. Shekende, from what we have said, started as city people some 25 years ago. And I remember that at that time, so many other magazines came. Today's Choice, all sorts of magazines. I can't find them any longer. So it means that there is something unique about Shekende. And you know, when this issue of don't forget, I also tried my hands on publishing. I ran away because I just could not cope. So there is something about Sheyeke that we must continue to applaud. I've been trying to do some research about his secrets. But I think that one little experience that I have had may suffice to decipher Sheye's secrets. And it is as follows. When I became governor in 2003, I started jumping up and down. Shey, please sit down. I'll be comfortable if you're seated. Trying to see what we can do to turn around Ogun State. And of course, before that time, I had so many friends in the media. One of them in particular was running a very, very important weekly tabloid. And after about 2.5 years of running around, fixing this and fixing that, I then saw my friend one day. I said, all these things that I'm doing in the state, why is it that you are not talking about it? I'm not applying in your front page of your magazine. He then told me what I will never forget in my life. He said, OGD, I do not pray that you appear in the cover of our magazine. I said, why? You'll be shocked what he told me. He said, we don't normally put good news on the cover of our magazine. Now go and look at it. If you will appear on cover, it must be bad news. And I then checked a lot of the magazines, and other magazines, and I was only seeing bad news on the cover pages. They say if you get arrested, Heathrow Airport, that will be front page. You are already on the front page. And it says, if you are caught looking at our lady engineer there with one corner of your eye, that will be front page. Anything that is bad news is what happens in the front page. Has that occurred to any one of you? Go and check it. But there is one magazine that always speaks good of people. Even when the news is bad, city people will find a way of bringing out the positive in that news. That is a secret of city people. I therefore want to use that as the theme of the short discussion I'm trying to have today. This cannot be a day of theoretical speeches. They call it keynote address, but it has to be on the lighter mood. And I think that my recommendation is that people in the media should try very hard to focus on the good side of the society other than the bad side. Now, city people have, if I remember well, I think I have about 3 or 4 plaques of city people. Governor of the year this, governor of the year, best governor here and there. I have not had the opportunity to thank you. But Sheye, I thank you very much indeed. Those things that you gave me at that time were major impetus, and it gave me really the encouragement to do a lot more. And I want to assure you that you must continue to encourage the good side of our people. Especially when you look at our country today, you can hardly find any good news. Either somebody is kidnapped, or somebody has died of COVID, or something has happened to somebody. And if we are not careful, we will soon become a country that's a harbinger of bad news. Now, why this is not good for us is not rocket science. Everything about the world that we live in is about perception. And people usually say that perception is reality. The biggest challenge we have in our country today, if you ask me, is unemployment. A large number of our young people have gone to school, they have qualified first degree, second degree, and some of them are sitting down at home for years without work. And it is clear, and I can tell you from my own experience, that when I became governor, I looked at the entire population of the civil service, teaching service, the local government service, Everything that was employed in the state was less than 50,000. And so I tried my best, I've actually doubled all of that. But that is like a drop in the ocean. Because at the last count, we had about 20 universities and polytechnics in Ogun State. And every year, they turn out approximately 100,000 graduates. So if 100,000 graduates are coming out every year, you can imagine that maybe in say 8 years I was there, we have turned out about 800,000 graduates. And the population of government workers, civil service, teaching service, superb, local government, is about 100,000 naira tops. So what do we do with this army of educated, qualified, unemployed people? One of the ways to do it is to encourage the private sector to come and establish industries, all sorts of things. And where we do not encourage them by talking about the good side of the country, they will not come. I felt very unhappy recently when I heard that Twitter has taken their headquarters to Ghana. This is not the first time this is going to happen. If you permit me to tell you a little story of the company called Nestle. Nestle wanted to do their biggest factory, and they said that factory is going to be their biggest factory in the world. And they said they were taking it to Côte d'Ivoire. And at that time, luckily, the chairman of Nestle, Chief Oshun Keye, is an indigenous of Egbaland and a governor. And luckily, I have known him when he was vice director of school specialties. We came next to him and said, how can I be here? And then you want to take this factory? He said, a security problem, they don't have land. I said, land in Ogun State. Just go and point to where you want the factory and the size of land you want. Even if you don't take the land, they say they don't believe me. I say, I'm serious. It was at that time we just did the roundabout at interchange. We put a fountain there, so everything was shining. I said, this is what they want. Take it. We had a lot of problems. At the end of the day, that is now one of the most efficient factories that's in the place. And through that factory, so many other things have happened. Real estate have gone up, people got employed. And once they were there, everybody now say, where next to this is where we want to go. And so before you know what is happening, the whole area has become one of the best industrial estates that we have in Nigeria. When I was driving from Shagamu here now, I said to the person, I said, one day, in another 15 to 20 years, Lagos, Shagamu, and Abeokuta will be one city. Because you can hardly now find any village that is not a big settlement along the way. No bush again. And if it goes on consistently like that, we will have created this our zone as the industrial capital of Nigeria. So where am I going? The media needs to help us by deliberately playing down the negatives and playing up the positives. And that is what I will call the Sheye Kehinde brand. Now, I've had opportunity in the last 2 or 3 years because of politicking to go around Nigeria, all the 36 states. I think I've gone 3 times now, virtually 3 times all the 36 states. So I know a lot more about this country called Nigeria than quite a number of other people. And I can assure you that there are great potentials here. And when you go around, you cannot afford to wonder what has happened to us as a people. This is Abeokuta, the city under the rock. But 2 weeks ago, I was in Ekiti. The amount of rocks that you find on the way is 100 times more than the rocks in Abeokuta. And then I said to myself, all the granite, Italian marble, Italian granite that we are bringing, they're from rocks. So even if you look at all the rocks in Nigeria alone, if you can attract people who can come and begin to blast them, polish them, the marble and granite, they're just stones, polished stones, that's all. You'll be shocked that Nigeria has capacity to supply the world all the granites that is required. So our country is a country of great potentials, and I just would like to continuously appeal to our media people to begin to talk more about the good rather than the bad in our society. Really, this is the reason why at any point in time, Kehinde city people have my kudos, because even when you be melancholic by the time you pick city people every weekend, and you begin to see who is happening, what is happening, and all of that, you begin to feel that maybe there is a hope, and that is precisely what you have done. 25 years is not small in the life of any organization. Not many organizations can survive it. And that you are still shining and you are still applauding people and people are applauding you shows that there is indeed something that is unique about you and your organization. The last time I saw you, I said, how do you cope with all the bevy of ladies that you celebrate every year? You had no answer for me. And I say, what of succession plan? You still have no answer. You are not getting younger, and I have to, though you are looking still very, very handsome, but you need to begin to think of how city people, like Time Magazine, Newsweek, and other international magazines, can begin to talk of a 100-year celebration and beyond. Once again, I want to thank all the people who have come to support you. Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Please put your hands together. You can do better, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for our Father.